So the era of remakes is upon us, and it would seem that a lot of these remakes are just not particularly good either. They are just cash grabs, to be honest. Now, we've obviously suffered a great deal of these remakes from Disney. They've even most recently remade, although it's not released, Moana. That's not even an old film. Very bizarre. Again, very clear that the studios themselves are just completely out of ideas, or they're out of the the capability to take any risks because they've worked themselves down into a hole financially, so they don't want to take risks anymore, which stifles creativity. Now, one of those studios that hasn't really begun doing the live action remakes up until this point was Universal, and now they've come out with How to Train Your Dragon, the live action version of the same movie, and some slight differences, but it's basically the same movie, and it's apparently not going down very well. The reviews coming out now basically say, hey, this is really pointless, actually. It's unnecessary. And I will say the statement of, well, it's unnecessary doesn't really make a lot of sense with movies anyway. Movies as a whole, they exist to create profit. That's the only reason films exist. It's the only reason you spend so much money on them. There is, of course, an artistic and creative element to them, but the primary focus is a business one. And all movies are unnecessary. But this, I would say, yeah, it's looking like, hey, you didn't need to make this at all. And it probably, probably seems quite like a sort of a cynical movie, I guess. So we're going to dive into this today. Do hit subscribe if you're new here. Give the bell a like and all that good stuff. So let's take a look, right? Because I saw this and I'd initially reported on the first reviews that were coming out, and they seemed to be relatively positive, to be honest. But now we're getting the actual reviews, and they don't seem particularly great. So Varieties is positive, obviously, and says Dean DeBlois protects his baby, showing that the leap from computer animation to live action is safer than the trial and error update strategy that Disney has been attempting with its hand-drawn classics. And that is, of course, referencing Disney's sort of incessant focus recently on updating everything for a modern audience. Newsflash, there is no modern audience, okay? There isn't one. Your modern audience is tiny. They don't generate profit because they're a bunch of losers with no money. So the Telegraph, they didn't like it at all. So they said it's a real dud, and it does drag on. So the Independent also continued further and said that it's a pointless, depressing copy and paste remake which simply replicates the sounds and images of the 2010 original, only making them blander and more grey in the process. Now, it's a funny one, isn't it, with remakes, is that if you're going to remake it, you want it to stay true to the original, but then at that point, does it become completely surplus to requirements? Yeah, I guess so. I've not really liked any of these live action adaptations. I don't really see the point of them. You know, when they are just a live action remake, it's like, well, what are you actually doing? An animated film exists. Why do we need to then put it into live action? Like, why? It's the same story. Especially considering, you know, some of the older animation is significantly better, actually, than what they do when it's crossed over into live action. Some of the CGI live action blend just looks atrocious at times. It's a funny one. They by its very sort of inception point, it's surplus to requirements. It's a bizarre concept. So Empire goes, it's clearly made with real love and care, but shows far too much deference to its progenitor. Even in a remake, we need more originality and less playing the hits. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of see why. But again, you want a remake to be true to the original, but then the whole point of it is irrelevant. You know, when it's a video game remake, to live action, that's different because the story is something which you play, not watch, right? Like those kind of things. Yeah, that you can be a bystander, an observer to these situations, and it'd be more enjoyable sometimes than playing it. Or for those that don't want to play it, just want to watch, those kind of live action remakes make sense to me. But when it's a live action remake of a film that already exists, it just seems dumb. So IGN said that the live action How to Train Your Dragon can feel hemmed in by its faithfulness to the animated original, but it's recreating that film's sense of heart and soul as well as its entire plot and most enduring images. As this one says, unnecessary addition to the animated film. With some breathtaking visuals, lovable dragons, and a perfectly cast Mason Thames, this is the rare live-action remake that captures the heart and soul of the original. But yeah, it just doesn't... It's irrelevant, I guess. The whole point is it didn't need to exist. AV Club says that the remake trades animated magic for money-hungry mediocrity. Oh, that's pretty brutal. IndieWire says no one needs a live-action remake, but ones this faithful and sweet are not the problem. And the Hollywood Reporter summarises everything you've read above by saying How to Train Your Dragon retains charm but plays it safe, which I guess is kind of the point. But there you go. I mean, pretty, well, I don't know, again, surplus to requirements, really. We'll have a look and see whether there is a Rotten Tomatoes now for it. I don't think there will be. This is the old one, the original one in 2010. I mean, 99 and 91%. I mean, that's great, isn't it? That's absolutely brilliant. Back when films were pretty good, to be honest. There you go. Here's the new one. Yeah, so it's not here. The 39 reviews are here, though. And it's just not good. I mean, look. Again, there's a lot of positive, by the way, obviously. The old saying goes, just because you can doesn't mean you should. How to Train Your Dragon delivers the bare minimum to warrant its recreation. As heartwarming as the story remains at its core, it's hard to shake that you already know how it will play out. Well, because everyone does. Again, there's lots of positive ones, guys. I'm not saying that there's not. There's a lot of positivity here. But, you know, it's one of those things that it clearly doesn't justify its own existence. All that's really changed is that How to Train Your Dragon is now distinctly less charming and less playful than before, with even its pièce de résistance, Toothless, losing some of the cute factor. I butchered that. It somehow elongates its predecessor's runtime by 27 minutes without adding a single atom of noticeably fresh material. Perhaps all the dragons are just flying around a bit more slowly this time, or the Vikings have to walk further between huts. What? That's mad. That's funny. I'd love to know what they changed. Anyway, there's not much else really to say here. It is being skewered. You know, a lot of people like it, obviously, but it doesn't need to exist at its core. That seems to be the take home here. So leave your thoughts down below. Will you be going to watch it? Do you care about these live action remakes? I, for one, I'm sick of them. I'm genuinely sick of them. Like, it's just creative bankruptcy. Anyway, thoughts down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.